What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Swishins is back. And if you've been, I don't know, living under a rock, or you haven't been on the internet or social media, you'll know Assassin's Creed Unity got its reviews. It wasn't very good. So if you didn't know Assassin's Creed Unity, it's out now for some countries, out this Friday in the UK, but reviews have come in. It's getting mixed reviews. Some are 7 out of 10, some 9, but mainly 7s. First off, let me just say I'm completely gutted when I saw this. I was just like, I thought I was going to have a heart attack, man. I had so much hope for this game. And you give it a 7? So like I said, this was meant to be the next gen Assassin's Creed. This game isn't even on previous gens. It's on next, well, it's on current gen, not previous gen. I don't get why we keep calling it next gen. It's current gen now, okay? So it's exclusive for that, but I don't know. People are saying it still has problems and it's playing at 20 frames per second. Now don't get me wrong, I have to make a final judgment when I get the game, which will be Christmas. I'll still get this game because I love Assassin's Creed and I'm a big fan. But I may not be as excited on Christmas Day now. I may be able to get to sleep easier on Christmas Eve because I'm not expecting too much now. Which in the long run would be pretty darn handy if I can get to sleep easy that night. So reviewers, the problem is they're mainly saying the story is lackluster, which completely devastates me. I thought this was going to be a hardcore story driven game, and that hurts. That freaking hurts. But that's just their opinion. Maybe I'll see something completely different. I probably won't. Another thing is technical side of it, glitchiness. I know that some people are saying it's running at 20 frames per second and there's bugs and stuff. Don't get me wrong, this can be addressed and fixed. But when you launch a game, stuff shouldn't happen like this. Come on, this is a big game as well. You know, this was one of the games for 2014. And if you've got issues like that, people are going to slam you for it. I mean, users are giving it a 0 out of 10 just because of that. So players just ain't forgiving. So you can check out our reviews and stuff. Don't worry, some people are giving this 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 and that. But it's just that it's so mixed that it's confusing. I mean, what is it doing so much that it's so mixed? I know a lot of people have said about it doesn't use Paris to its full extent and stuff like that. Like with the story wise. But I've not seen anyone praise the customization and stuff yet. And I think maybe, well, like I said, I haven't played it yet, so I can't say. But maybe they're overlooking the thing of like customization, missions, and you know NPCs in the game, and that maybe something's been overlooked because it's Assassin's Creed, because it comes out yearly, because it's on exclusive to the current gen. Maybe it's getting more shit than it deserves, but I don't know. You know, I know. So don't throw dog shit at me because I ain't the one who's reviewed this game. But anyway, it brings me on to the question, and it's a big question. I mean, it's basically what everyone's been saying for a while. Kind of. But like, does Assassin's Creed need a reboot now? You know, it's Assassin's Creed Unity now. It's meant to be massive and that, and it's meant to sell a lot. And the fact that you're getting that kind of reviews, you expect that for Rogue, Assassin's Creed Rogue, which hasn't been reviewed yet. And if that gets better scores, they fucked themselves big time. Does Assassin's Creed need a reboot now? That's a question, because disappointing scores, people getting pissed off that it's a yearly release. I don't mind that it's a yearly release. I still really enjoy them. The improvements over each new game aren't too much, and I understand they don't make this game like when they finish one, they're like, alright, let's make number 6 now. We'll just do it in 1 year. No, it takes about 3 or 4 years. There's different teams working on it. But like I said, I don't mind that because I think it's good. But in some way, if you give it a bit more breathing space, you could maybe create something awesome. Just saying. But I definitely think Assassin's Creed is not like just a trilogy and that should be it. It's the formula it has with the animus and that. You can kind of do anything, and this is the thing, you can take this game any direction you want. You don't have to keep doing the same thing over and over. You know, and I do understand it can be a yearly release game because of that. But it wouldn't hurt maybe just to give it a bit of breathing space. You just don't know, you know. To see, because if it's yearly release, the problems with each new game, like Unity for example, You're not going to be able to change that much more if your game's already coming out next year, like next Assassin's Creed. So maybe if you wait, see what Unity does wrong, and then you start making the game, you may have more success. But I'm just one of the gamers. I don't make games, okay? One thing that gets me is reviewers, like, sometimes you can read up on them, and they're like, they've played every Assassin's Creed game, but they tend to want to forget about Assassin's Creed 3. Ugh. Okay, I don't know why everyone seems to hate Assassin's Creed 3. Well, it's just my opinion, but I loved that game, okay? I freaking thought it was awesome. See, everyone seems to hate that game so much. Well, maybe not hate, but they just want to slam on it so bad. I know there's bugs in it, but come on, we can look past that. Look at Fallout, mate. Look at Fallout. The buggiest game, one of the buggiest games I've ever played. But that doesn't really ever get that much. It does get stick, but it's more of a joke, like, a Fallout bug. You know? So maybe ease off a bit. But Assassin's Creed 3, people seem to slam on it for some reason. And they say it took too slow of a pace, but... Okay, I know we're just going to go on a bit of a ramble here, but anyway, stay with me. Assassin's Creed 3, maybe it started slow in that. Like, you played as Haytham Kenway, Connor's dad, for the first few hours, I think. But I liked that, okay? It was good, it set up the story. Then you played as Connor for a while, and it did take some hours for it to progress. But I like that. Why do we need to rush? Why do we need to be like, I'm just a normal guy, something happened, that's it, I'm going to be an assassin in one day. And then they're doing the absolute magical leaps in that. Why not follow their story more closely? It progresses. It's nice to see the characters develop. It gives them more three-dimensionality. You know, it's like, if you've seen The Hobbit, the first one, when they go to Bilbo's house, they're in there for ages. But it's establishing story, establishing character. There's a lot of them. And you get that, I don't know, Lord of the Rings is like that warmth, that family Christmassy warmth to it. And that scene had it when it was in Bilbo's house. You wouldn't want the dwarves just come to Bilbo's house and being like, we need a burglar. Do you want to come with us to the Dragon's Mountain to reclaim the dwarf's kingdom? And then Bilbo would be like, yeah, sure, let's go. And then skips and they're like already there. That's dumb, okay? It's nice to take things at a slow pace. There's so many fast-paced action things. Sometimes it's nice just to take it down a notch. Another thing with Assassin's Creed 3 I think people didn't like was Connor. But let me explain why I think he was an amazing character. And this isn't me just bum-licking Assassin's Creed here. It's just my personal feelings. Connor was the assassin after Ezio, you know, game-wise. Ezio was a fan favourite. You can't replicate that character for the next game. Otherwise everyone will be like, this is the same person, just different skin, and he's not as good. You know, he's like a doppelganger. But they tried something different with 3, which people have been asking for. Connor was more realistic in a sense. He wasn't the most likeable, but does it matter all the time if the character's not the most likeable? If you watch Game of Thrones, for example, Joffrey, the character, he's a dick. He's an absolute dick. No one likes him, but we still want to watch him. We're still so interested to see what he does next and how his story progresses. It's the same with films and many other characters. They don't always have to be likeable for them to be interesting. And Connor wasn't the most likeable guy. He was an arrogant prick sometimes, especially to Achilles. We loved that guy, but Connor was arrogant to him and he was nasty. Bitch. So that's one thing, but because the story was slow, it kind of explained why Connor was like that. He never had his dad. His, what was it? Yeah, his mum. He saw her get burnt alive. His people were going to get pushed off their homeland. He's angry. This guy is a ball of anger. He didn't represent the assassins in the highest order. Like, people liked Haytham Kenway kind of a lot more than Connor. But that was good. It didn't show the assassins in such a great light. Kind of what Assassin's Creed Rogue's going to do. But Haytham was good. He was a cool character. But he was for the Templars. We got to see him and we liked him. But he was on the Templar side. So we got to learn that it's not always bad that the Templars, they have the same goals, just by their means. It's like their ideologies. But look how they conflict, you know. They're both, it's not, the Templars aren't black and assassins white. You know, it's not black and white, good, evil morality here. There's good guys and bad guys to each faction. And Connor, for me, was great in that way because he was just like anger and stuff. And it was kind of sad what happens to him. He has to kill his best friend. Well, he kind of didn't have to do that, but he stabbed it. I don't know. He's an assassin. He could have pushed him off, but no, he decided to go for it. Dick move, really. And that scene where he has to kill his dad, you know, that's his dad. And there was that bit where they sort of built a relationship and stuff, but he had to kill him, and that was strong. You know, he had a shit life throughout the entire game, really. Even when it all ends, he's like, he still doesn't really find peace with himself. You know, the assassins aren't like re-established and everything. And even when he kills Charles, is his name Charles at the end? He wasn't the one who killed Connor's family and that, who drove him off or whatnot. It was George Washington. But it's like, Connor's come so far down this path now that I don't believe he kills him because of the assassin order and that for freedom. He's just angry and he's not going to let this go. And that scene where they sit down and he offers him a drink, he takes a sip and then he stabs him, that was so cinematic. And for me, the story of Assassin's Creed 3 was just amazing. It took a gamble. No, my light. And for that, I applaud it and stuff. Don't worry, I know there's a lot of problems with it, combat-wise and stuff, but you can't give it as much slack as it deserves. For me, it was just a great game and experience. I mean, it introduced naval battles, which Assassin's Creed 4 then had, and I loved that. That was amazing. That was awesome. We kind of went on a tangent there. It's kind of your fault for leading me on to that. But, okay, so we're going on to the thing of, does Assassin's Creed need a reboot? And 3 kind of did try and change formula, but by reboot now, we all know the only location that can do this now is in Japan. They said they would never do this, but you're kind of backed in a corner now. We've got like pitchforks, like French revolutionists, and we're pushing you into a corner because Unity hasn't done that well. They tried going back to their roots, they say, of like Assassin's Creed 2 and that, but from the sounds of it, it hasn't paid off that great. So you kind of need to do Japan because, as I've described in previous videos, if you want to go check them out, haha, give me more views. You understand why I say Japan. Completely different culture. The architecture, which is always a big thing in Assassin's Creed, completely different. They had squeaky wooden floors around the house to know if there was assassins or ninjas creeping up on them. You know, the buildings ain't as high, tiles would come off. So there's a complete another dynamic to stealth right there. And the history of Japan. Right, Assassin's Creed is mainly aimed at Western audiences like America, Europe, you know, England, stuff like that. How many of us really know about Japanese history? Not a lot of us. I certainly don't, but I'm so interested in it. We're interested in the unknown and stuff because you're going in surprise. American Revolution, French Revolution, stuff like this, we kind of know about, like Crusade and that. Okay, it was cool and stuff. It was cool in the sense because it had a religious theme to it, but now we know what the whole apple of Eden is now and that, so it's not as great now in my opinion. But for us Westerners, learning about their culture, well, for me, it's just so interesting because it's like when you go on holiday, you don't go to a country in a way exactly the same weather, exactly the same architecture and everything as the country you're living in, because you want to see more of the world. You want to see what the world has to offer. Japan has a lot to offer gameplay wise for Assassin's Creed. Weapons, you've got culture, you've just got everything. I mean, there's so much I could go on with it, but like I said, previous videos, check them out. Now, I know other people saying they'd like to see Egypt or something like Persia or something like that. It sounds really cool and stuff. It's a bit similar to Assassin's Creed 1 in a way, but best, I would say, is to leave that to Prince of Persia. I know they've kind of got that game on hold at the moment, at least we think they have, but they can kind of play around with that themselves with the Prince of Persia franchise. I just think if you truly want to reboot this, or it doesn't have to be reboot, but try something different and listen to your fans, you know. I would try Japan, even I don't know, China maybe, but Japan just seems like a great thing to me. You don't have to do like samurais as Templars and ninjas as assassins. It doesn't even have to be like that, you know. And you know, might even have to call them assassins. They couldn't just be ninjas and that, but you know, different names, different countries, you know. But one thing a lot of people are saying is the combat. A lot of reviews I'm seeing is people still saying it needs working again, and I do agree with it. I haven't played Unity yet, But I do think combat needs reworking. In the first one, it was cool and that, but countering is too easy. I mean, you can still have that feature in the game, but have it so, like, if the guy's coming in with an overhead attack, you have to block and aim upwards in a certain way. So it's like, block, that's your counter, you've got a one-hit kill. But it's got to be hard to do. It can't just be, let me hold the button, I'm just going to counter you with this. If I see 10 guys, yeah, I want to think, shit, I better run. I want to use the parkour system for a reason. It never feels like I have to do that. I can kill everyone in that game. There's never a need for me to run, unless you just really can't be bothered. I want that fear, the adrenaline of feeling kind of weak and insecure. I want a reason to be stealthy and to take my target out in a good way, because I don't want to have to deal with all these guards. I want to have to get away. It's fun trying to get away from characters. You don't want to just jump in a hay pile and be done. You want to be able to run around corners and stuff, go through dark alleys, and you want to just get out of their line of sight. Like kind of GTA 4. Is it GTA? No, it's GTA 5, isn't it? Yeah, it's GTA 5, sorry. You could just get out of the cop's line of sight and they could go right past you. That is cool. That's great. Assassin's Creed, you really need to implement it. It's called Assassin's Creed. We're assassins, not bloody warlords or mercenaries who just kill everyone, guns blazing and that. We just don't want that. I mean, in all seriousness, where's the stealth been? I think Unity is starting to do that, but come on, we can be more stealthy. We're assassins. I just like a reason to be stealthy now. I want to strategize it. The game is too easy. Gamers, they don't get frustrated if they die. Like, if I die in a game but I'm enjoying it, I like that. I like to think, oh, I'm going to try this again now. Let's try and be sneaky this way. I'll try this tactic. It's fun to do things over again. You don't want to always have to rush through a game. Sometimes it's nice to have a challenge, because when you overcome that challenge, the feeling of the accomplishment that you've just done, it just makes you feel great. It's like, look at Dark Souls, for example. That game is hard as shit, but people keep playing it. It's got a big fan base. It's got Bloodborne coming out. Is that what it's called? I don't know. Bloodhorn, I think, something like that, coming out. And so many people are stoked for this game. It just shows there is an audience for this. It doesn't have to be as brutal as that, but come on. It can be a bit more challenging. Now, I'd definitely say make an awesome story. I think, the thing is, I don't mean in a bad way that any of the stories really in Assassin's Creed have been great to an extent. I liked 3. Number 2 was good, don't get me wrong. But there wasn't like stories that would last you the entirety of your life. Kind of like, I have Final Fantasy has them emotional sort of stories. It wasn't to that extent. It was a good story though, Assassin's Creed 2 and that. But it wasn't amazing. I kind of used to like the feeling of not really knowing what the Apple of Eden really was. It was kind of that whole religious thing, because that religion itself is so unknown, but people put their faith in it. But it's kind of putting your faith in something you can't see, touch, feel. You don't really know exists. You just have to believe in it and stuff. But now we know there's another civilization. I don't know. It just doesn't make it feel as special for me personally. I'd prefer to have been more unknown. But hey, whatever, you know. But yeah, I don't know where they're going to take the series next now. But if you really want to change something up, I would just go with Japan, honestly. I mean, everyone's asking for this. Everyone. I've not known anyone who said, no, I don't want Japan. It's just so much logic to going in that direction, and I think it will just breathe new life into Assassin's Creed. The thing is, what I think people want, if you're changing countries to each game and location, we want gameplay we want the gameplay to be different, but it has to be a reason for it to be different based on the setting. Japan has it, the architecture, the weapons, the culture of honor and everything. It has reasons why this gameplay would change, why the assassin would fight different and stuff, you know? Come on, I can't be crazy here. Why is no one at Ubisoft understanding this? I know they want to make money at the end of the day, and they are going to make loads of money with each yearly release, but look at BioWare, what they've done with Dragon Age Inquisition. I'm going to make a video on that, by the way. Hold tight. That's getting rave reviews because they took time on it. Now, people are going to trust BioWare again, and they're going to pump money into that company. It's just how it works. The Witcher, for example. The CGR Project Red. Sorry, I don't really know the name. Their company is loved. They give out free DLC. That's amazing. You know that wasn't made on the disc. They've made it afterwards. But everyone loves that company. They trust them and stuff. And they're still getting by. They still make loads of sales. So sometimes it's not that bad to try and please your consumer instead of always thinking about the money. I mean, because while it's working now, eventually people will get pissed and maybe even boycott you. You know, it's like now the next Assassin's Creed, because of Unity, people won't have much faith in it. They'll wait for these reviews. Nobody won't be none of these pre-order shit. You know, they're going to wait. They're going to want to see. And they might even skip it, you know, unless it's Japan. So anyway, I think I've rambled on enough. I could talk for ages about it because I love Assassin's Creed. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to get Unity. I'll play out Christmas. I'm sure I'll still really enjoy it. May not be what we all expected, but hey, you know, there's other great games coming out. So thank you so much for listening and watching. I know I've rambled on too long, but please leave a comment on where you like to see Assassin's Creed, or ideas, or if you think it should be rebooted, if Unity is crap, if it's really good, if reviews are being unfair. Just leave a comment. Tell me, you know. I'm all ears. And eyes and mouth and nose and stuff. I don't know. But anyway, have a great day. Enjoy Unity if you're playing it, or Assassin's Creed Rogue. And yeah, if you've got a Rogue, because in England we don't have this yet, other countries do, please tell me if it's good or not. I'd like to know. So thanks so much for watching. Stay sweet and just have an awesome day, night, evening. I don't know anything you're doing. Bye.